If you're looking for that slow-paced living, you want somewhere in Albuquerque that you're still within the city, very close to all different kinds of amenities, but you want to come home to lush green pastures. You want to, chill out on your front porch without a whole lot of busyness. This is an area you're going to want to think about. So let's get right into it. Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Eli, and if this is your first time tuning into the Living in Albuquerque channel, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom, somewhere along here. That way you guys are never missing out on any kind of videos. Aside from doing these videos and enjoying a great time here with you guys outside, I am also a local real estate agent here in Albuquerque, and I manage most of the surrounding areas, so that number popping up on the screen here is my direct line. And as much as I love doing these videos, I would love to also help you out with your real estate needs, so feel free to reach out. It's a best kept secret for Albuquerque. Los Ranchos is probably my top favorite area just because it's, old school. You got a ton of farmland down there, and I want to talk about that, so let's go. Around the farmland idea and open spacious lots, tons of greenery, tons of bosque trails, all that just because it's close to the Rio Grande. This area is super chill. It's tranquil. If you're walking down there, you can probably expect to, have a bunch of friendly interactions with the neighbors and then, people who own some of the stores and shops down there. Because believe it or not, it's very humble. It's very chill. It's old school. You're going to find people who are very down to earth down there just because that's the kind of living that attracts that kind of people. And that's my kind of people. So anytime that we're down there, we're hanging out at Los Poblanos or going to the Casa Rodeña winery, you're going to expect to have some good conversations. If you're walking the bosque trails, you're going to run into probably a horse or two. And the people who are riding are just so nice and so humble that sometimes they'll even welcome you back to their farm so you can kind of get to see their operation and experience that type of style of living. Okay, so I touched on it just a bit, right? Lifestyle, the way people live down there. A lot of the old school agricultural traditions are going to still be in place just because we don't want to get away from that sometimes. We want to be able to have an escape that's 5 minutes away, right? There's a lot of old farms down there that actually have converted themselves into bigger businesses like Los Poblanos, like I touched on, is an old school lavender farm. They still have a little bit of animals. Believe it or not, I don't think they have a petting zoo. So I'm sorry if you don't get to pet like a surplus of animals, but I think they got maybe like llamas and alpacas there. Haven't been there in a minute, so I couldn't tell you exactly. But the farm to table restaurant that they have down there is super beautiful. It's super enjoyable. You can expect to pay a little bit more for the experience, but it's well worth it. And if you're planning on staying there, yeah, they have a hotel. Believe it or not, you can get yourself a nice staycation that if you even want to do it during the middle of the week and work, you can. It's super doable because it's smack dab right in the middle of the city. And maybe I can put a map up on the screen here. That way you guys can get an idea of exactly where Los Ranchos is kind of predicated at in terms of, central area and downtown and all that stuff. This one's for all my horse people out there. Los Ranchos is super horse related community. They got amenities for all kinds of different horses. They got tack shops down there. They got saddle shops. They got boot stores. They got a little bit of everything. They even got, stables that you can go and put your horses at. If, you live down there, but you quite don't have the space, you can board your horses at some of these larger areas. And for, a small fee a month, it's probably doable. It'll probably make sense for you, especially if you're like, hey, I'm not too sure exactly on what to do. Some of those people are actually very willing to help you, teach you, and get you integrated into that community because, it's a dying thing, and I think it's awesome. I can't wait till I start doing that at our ranch down in the South Valley, and it's just an experience that if you are a horse person, you are in tune with that, but hey, if you're not, you can expect that you're probably going to run into a horse or two, so just be prepared for that. Okay, and like I said, it's pretty centrally located or close to the centrally located areas. You're not going to find yourself like an hour away from driving, to a local store or anything like that. They actually have a ton of their own shopping, kind of like smaller mom and pop shops, grocery stores, co-ops, those kinds of things down there. You can have actually, believe it or not, probably one of the better restaurants here in Albuquerque, and that's Sadie's down there. And by far some of the best food. So if you ever come down here, I highly recommend that you get down there. Just, I forewarn you, their salsa can tend to be hot. And if you are like me and you like that hot salsa, you're going to enjoy yourself. Just be prepared, because sometimes it's like hit or miss. Sometimes you get a super hot salsa, sometimes you don't. But if you don't want to go down and enjoy some hot salsa, you can go pretty much to any other restaurant on the east or the west side, because it's kind of integrated pretty well. It's connected by, you know, some of the major freeways, or not freeways, but streets, many freeways that we've talked about in the past, like Montaño, Paseo del Norte, any of those streets that cross the river. And you can access the freeway actually pretty easily down there. You can access the I-40 or I-25 pretty much within 5 to 10 minutes. So if you're looking to kind of get around the city or navigate, if you do live down there, you can just imagine that it's not going to be hard for you to do. All right, so the community down there is, like I talked about, it's super humble, it's super chill, and they like to come together to host, you know, cultural events, just to, you know, remind themselves where they come from, to celebrate their heritage of Albuquerque, because we are a unique culture. We are a unique, I guess, living, especially with a lot of the ranch style, urban, all that kind of mixing together. It really brings, you know, different types of people to Albuquerque. So we want to make sure that we keep what made Albuquerque in the first place still alive with these events. They have the Lavender Festival, where a ton of vendors get invited to come and post up, sell their products, kind of surrounded around that lavender idea. And they will also have like music, cars, you know, a bunch of different things just for anybody of, you know, all different walks of life to enjoy. Now, speaking about cars, a lot of the old timers down there that have those nice, beautiful old school cars will host car shows at the farmers markets from time to time. And they have farmers markets pretty much every other weekend in the summer. So if you're looking to get homegrown veggies, homegrown products, homegrown whatever it is that people make at their homes that they sell at these farm to table kind of style events, that's something that you're going to look out for, because they host it down at the community center, and they got a lush big green field down there, and it's inside, outside. It's awesome. It's beautiful. Look out for that. If you get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. So in terms of, you know, the community education and all that stuff, I got to put this one in there because there is still schools down there. They're not super old school that they're not going to have schools down there. They are going to have elementary school, 2 middle schools, and 2 different styles of high schools down there. They're going to have a charter school and a regular public high school down there. So when you're talking about these different schools, you're talking about Los Ranchos Elementary, you're looking at North Valley Academy, and then you're looking at Taylor Middle School that is down there. Now, Valley and that other charter school that they have down there, the population of students is small. You're looking about, you know, anywhere, from a couple hundred to about 1,000 students, which in terms versus like a Trisco Heritage Academy, which I graduated from on the south side, has about double that. About 2,000 plus students go to that school. When you see it, it looks like a college campus. It's huge, it's massive. So I can just imagine that some of the teachers that work down there live down there. So you can believe that, hey, if you're wanting, again, that old school kind of vibe, small town living, Los Ranchos is going to be the area for you, because a lot of those people still get super involved in the community. Because number one, what I've noticed is that some of those teachers were born and raised down there, and they love it so much that they just kind of pride themselves on that part of town. So they put a lot of effort in making sure that the community and the kiddos get a full experience, get the most out of their education, and really try to involve themselves in their lives to have, that inspiration to want to do more. All right, Los Ranchos, super beautiful area, super green, bunch of horses everywhere. So, and I'm not talking about like herds either, so don't get that picture. But if you are planning on moving down there, again, that number popping up on the screen here is my direct line. So if there's anything I could ever help you out with, please feel free to reach out, because I'd love to make sure that you make all the right decisions. Whenever you're moving to, whatever part you move to in Albuquerque, I want to make sure that you get all the right information. But again, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me for just a bit. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Peace.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray.